Level 3 is using several angle properties to find the unknown angle measurement. So here we're using parallel lines, so that means alternate interiors, same side interiors, and triangles, trapezoids, all those things. So in number 5 it says given the lines L and M are parallel, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight those. So here's M and here's L. I just colored over the fact that that was 95. Okay. I want to find the measure of all unknown angles. So we've got a lot of things that are going on here. And the best thing to do with these is just kind of try and always look for those alternate interiors, anything that's supplementary, any triangles or vertical angles. So all these things that we can try and find out, that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to start at someplace. So I'm going to look for some supplementary angles first, and if I find them, I'm going to use it. So if I look at this figure here, I've got 60, 75, 45, and 95. Well, I see that this 95 is this whole angle here, and that lies on this line that I just highlighted in red. So angle E and 95 are supplementary angles. So if I take 180 minus 95, I'm going to get that measure of angle E. So that means the measure of angle E will be 85. Okay, so E is 85, so let's mark that in our picture. So now I also see, now that I found that, I've got a triangle going on here that I highlighted in blue that I know 2 out of the 3 angles from. So I'm going to take 85 plus 45, which is 130, and I'm going to subtract that from 180. So 180 minus 130, again that was 85 plus 45. That's going to get me 50. So angle F is equal to 50. So again, marking that in my picture. Always important to mark it as soon as you find it. Okay, so I've got that triangle, and it doesn't say that this is an isosceles triangle, so I don't know that angles are congruent necessarily. So I'm just going to keep on working and see if I can find something else. Okay, well, I see that if these lines are parallel, the top and the bottom in black here, if those are parallel, that means this angle 60 and this whole angle containing that 75-degree angle are going to be supplementary because they're on the same side of that red line, but in between the 2 black ones. So if they're supplementary, they have to add up to 180. So if I take 180 and subtract 75 and subtract 60, what angle A has to be is 45 in order for it to be a triangle. So angle A is going to be 45. Okay, very similar to the other one that we just did, that other triangle. I see another triangle here. So I've got 180 minus 60 minus 45 will get me angle B, which is 75. Okay, let's see. Now I just found B, so I've got this line that I just colored over in red. And I know that B plus C plus this 45-degree angle should make up a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So I'll take 180 minus 75 minus 45, and that's going to equal 60. So angle C will equal 60. Okay, last one. Just because I found angle C, now I've got a triangle up here that I've got 2 angles for. So I'll take, again, 180 minus the 75 that's up here, minus the 60 that I just found down here to find out what angle D is, and that's 45 degrees. So for problems like that, there is not one way to solve those. There's a couple different ways, multiple different ways that you can approach the problem. So just because you did it differently or saw something differently than a person in your group or even what I did, doesn't mean that you're wrong, okay? It just depends like where you start the problem. Okay, number 6, ABC is shown below. The measure of A is 30 degrees. That's already marked in the picture. And ACB is a right angle. That's not marked in the picture. So ACB, A to C to B. So anytime it names an angle, I'm going to trace it. So that angle where it bends is going to be the right angle. So I marked it with a box. D is on AB. That just means that it's on the line. It's not like it's off here. It is how it looks, is what it's saying. And then it also says DC bisects angle ACB. So remember that bisect means to divide into two equal parts. So whether that's a segment that's bisecting another segment or a segment that's bisecting an angle, it's either going to cut the two segments into two equal parts or the angle into two equal parts. So if it says that DC bisects ACB, so DC will bisect angle ACB, that means it cut the angle into two equal parts. So that's how I label that it's equal. Now, if I know that that's a right angle, and if I cut a right angle into two parts, 90 divided by 2, that means that each angle in there is 45 degrees. Okay, so that's something that I just figured out before I even did the problem. The next part that I did was find the measure of CDB in degrees. So where the question mark is. Okay, so I'm going to start here. If you look at the picture, you can see 3 different triangles. Triangle 1, triangle 2, and then that third one is the big one. Okay, so that's triangle number 3. If I look at the big triangle, I've got an angle that's 30 degrees, an angle that's 90 degrees, which makes the remaining angle 60 degrees, which is this angle B up at the top. So just by realizing you've got 3 different triangles within the same picture will help you obtain that angle B. And now since earlier I figured out that angle BCD was 45 degrees, now this triangle DCB has 2 angles and it's missing a third one, which is actually the angle that I want to find. So I'm going to take 180 and subtract 60 and subtract 45 so I can get my final answer, which is 75. Okay, so with level 3s, there's not one way to go about doing the problem. There's a couple different ways that you can probably solve it. So whatever you see first is fine. Look for triangles, look for vertical angles, look for supplementary angles. So keep those in mind as you're working through these types of problems.